Hello, soccer fans. It is the 15th of October, 2009. We're at the George Brendler Field for senior night here in MVAC soccer action between the Lady Eagles of Chazy and the Panthers of Crown Point. Chazy comes into this game undefeated. They're state ranked in third place in the state. And here come right now is Caitlin Lapierre for Chazy. And they'll have the first corner kick, seconds here into the first half. Chazy going from left to right, and then of course Crown Point going from right to left. Looking in the paper, I don't think Crown Point has won a game this year. Chazy's undefeated, so I'm kind of expecting a one-sided game here tonight, and I'm sure Coach Trombley will be subbing people in and moving the players around to give them experience in different positions. But it's a corner kick right now. It's a short corner kick, Kempening over to Lapierre. Lapierre in the box, sends it across, and it was just chipped in by Amanda Kempening. And now Victoria Reynolds looking to try to get a shot off, and she scores already. The goalie didn't even see it coming. So Calvin, I said it would kind of be a mismatch, and 54 seconds into the match, it's already 1-0.
Yeah, Victoria didn't waste much time, and she is really leading the pack in scoring this year. She just seems to be in the right place at the right time. You know, you think back to the all-time leading scorer in the region, Helen Giroux. She led the pack, but she did it a different way. Victoria just seems to be where the ball is. Yeah. She doesn't have to work for some of these.
Nah,
not that she doesn't work out there.
Right, but she knows where to position herself. And then we have a couple of local boys here calling tonight's game. We have John Sachs on the near side line, Clark Herdick on the far side line, two seasoned officials here at the soccer field for Chazy and Crown Point tonight. So. And, of course, I'm Joey Trombley calling tonight's game for Chazy. On the camera is Calvin Castine. Joe Poisson would be over here, I think, but he's in a game across the way. The JV boys are playing the Northeastern JV boys, and they were tied at 1. They're in overtime now, and there's a shot just missing. So we have the lights here. They don't. It looks like it's getting dark across the way for that overtime game, Calvin.
They better speed it up.
And before we got to this game, Calvin and I were talking off camera, and it is really chilly tonight. We've had nice weather basically all year, but the average, I think you're saying, Calvin, is 57 degrees this time of year?
The average high is 57, and when I arrived here it was 38 degrees, and that was an hour and a half ago, so I had no idea what the temperature is now. We're supposed to be going toward possibly record lows tonight.
Isn't that just wonderful, as we call tonight's game here? So it is chillier than normal. Trombley with the ball goes to the open space up over to Lapierre. Lapierre on the near sideline will make her move into the box. And it's cleared out by the defense. Goes on to the foot of number 7, Vezzi. She clears it up. And coming over, the ball will probably go off the sideline. It does. Throw in for Chazy. It's Amanda Kempening.
You know, just one more thought on the weather, and that is I thought global warming would be warmer than this.
Yeah, I did too. I'm really amazed how it's gotten colder. But they'll say that that's part of global warming, you know, that you get colder. So I don't know. All I know is I'm not too warm right now. So hopefully Joe will come up. A lot will depend if they win or lose. So if they lose, he might come up, but he won't be as colorful as if they win.
Well, he might be more colorful off camera if they lose.
Calvin, he's always more colorful off camera. Of course, that's not fair to Joe. He's not here to defend himself. But I'm sure he takes a couple cracks at me when I'm not around either. So.
Well, he should be pleased because last time, as I recall, when they were at Northeastern and they played the Cougars, Cougars won that game. So they're going overtime. Two of them has to, I'm sure, please them that they improved like that.
Yeah, I guess they lost in overtime 2-1 to them, or 2-1 in Northeastern, and this game is in overtime. So there's a deflection and a nice save. So good job by the goalie. And they don't tell us who the goalie is here.
Number 13, Anderson, almost put that in for Crown Point.
What's that?
Certainly, it went off Anderson's foot, number 13 out there in defense.
Okay. They don't say who the goalie is, so we can't give her due here on the camera.
No.
Do you see it?
I don't see anybody named keeper.
I see out for season, but I don't see it on the roster that we have right here.
What you have to do is go through all the numbers and figure out who's not the number that.
And Victoria is there again. As Calvin said earlier.
Right place, right time.
Right place, right time. So she picks up 2 more. She is the league leading goal. It's your call. We're back?
We're back.
All right, well, I was just talking to Coach Trombley down there, and she's trying to do the right thing. She wants to ask her coach, she wants to keep it running time, but doesn't know if she'll be offending the coach asking her. But when you have an 0-something team against an undefeated team, it doesn't make for good soccer, and there was a 3rd goal. And so we knew that coming into this game, and I mean, it's 3-0 with we haven't played 5 minutes left yet.
Where was Reynolds that time, huh?
Yeah, I know. Well, I think she wanted to make sure Caitlin got a goal.
Okay.
You know, she's trying to spread the wealth. So. And we're back. It's going to be running time. The officials don't care. The coach for Crown Point is okay with that, and it's probably a good thing, Calvin.
It's a cold night. It's 3-0 already.
And they got a long ride back home.
Yeah, they got a long ride. Why prolong the misery? Chazy will do whatever they can to keep the score down, but you can't stop playing. You got to keep playing out there.
Right. Well, what she did before this year, in another game that got kind of out of hand scoring wise, she put the defense on the offense, offense back on the defense. She subbed. Well, she only has like 3 subs down there, 4 subs. So she got them all in the game, and I mean, she did everything she could. But how do you tell somebody coming off the bench don't score?
Yeah, you got to hustle. You got to play, and plus it's insulting if you go up there and don't. And you're going to get hurt too if you don't. If you don't
Right.
go out there and play like you should, it's a good way to get hurt.
And she had him out there passing. I mean, not where it was real obvious, but trying to work on their passing game and stuff, and just working on different things.
Pass before you shoot.
It puts you in a tough position as a coach.
That number 20 kept shooting, I guess, and got a couple goals. Huh?
Yeah, that was the game we're talking about. Yeah, number 20 on defense. Yeah, who would that be, Calvin?
I don't know. She packed all of her varsity scoring into one game.
She scored more in 5 minutes than I ever did my whole career.
They're still playing that JV game over there.
Yeah, they're gonna. I guess the fans have agreed to bring their cars out there and put the lights on. So, I mean, we'll kind of banter back and forth. I think we'll let the camera do a lot of the action here tonight, Calvin. I have to admit, trying to call a game like this is tough.
Well, I just finally got the games from Sam against E-Town, so I could get it loaded up to the internet. And I was listening to that only goal there, and you got awfully excited.
Oh, at the last minute, yeah. Well, I thought I was on radio again, so I had to play it for the fans. I should have realized I can see it on TV that they scored, right? But you hear what Joe? Did you hear what Joe said on camera about me? I don't know if he said it on camera or it was off camera. It must have been off camera. I sound like an excited Richard Simmons. So it must have been off camera that he said that.
I don't recall hearing that.
Yeah, well, that's what he said. That was off camera stuff from Joe, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and he's supposed to be my friend.
Well, sometimes you have to tell your friends things that nobody else will tell them.
So was it real? Was it out of?
No. It's just,
Was it okay, or was it just?
It was fine. I'm not.
Or was it over the top?
It was apropos for the game situation. Somebody has scored.
Northeastern just scored.
Northeastern scored.
They did it in overtime.
So all is right in the universe. Joe Poisson will be here fuming.
Maybe. Well, he's going to stop and have some Mickey fries, and he'll have his hamburger, and so we may or may not see him. I don't know.
This is it, Joey. The last regular season home game for either team here.
It is. Well, for the varsity girls.
Boys are done too, aren't they?
They played this week. They played Sable. It was their senior night.
Yeah, but this is it. I'm saying this is their.
This is the last home game, right? The last home game for the boys or girls, and then it goes into regional or sectional play. But so this is Sagan's. Well, obviously being a senior, her last game as far as official home game for the regular season. So that's why it's senior night tonight.
Yeah, but I mean, it just seems like the season starts and it's over with.
You know, I'll tell you, Calvin, it just seems like yesterday that they had to go to preseason August 17th. And, you know, they're all pumped up for that. And, you know, here we are 2 months later, almost to the day, a couple days shy. And you just go, where did the time go? It's just unbelievable. It just seems like yesterday that Galen was out there for his senior night. And that was 2 years ago. It's just, time flies.
Yeah, some of these games seem to take forever, but then the season goes by quick. So it's just a different perspective.
Well, you know, for the seniors, I mean, this is, I don't know if it, and I really don't know. I just wonder if they really realize how, you know, how special times this is for, you know, when you appreciate it more when you get out of school, I guess. But, oh, geez, there's a shot by Devin. But these are their memories right here. And Victoria Reynolds with the ball, pushes it out to the far side over to Sinead Cooper. She sends it into the box. And the ball goes into the goalie's hands. And I think the game is done across the way. I don't see any more players, so maybe they just did a sudden death type thing.
It was dark enough, they probably did.
I would think. Sinead gets a shot off, and there's a save by the goalie.
Number 5 is right there.
What's that?
So number 5 was right there. If she'd misplayed it, Victoria was right there.
She was there.
Ready to pounce on it.
We'll have to call her the Phil Esposito of soccer. Remember that for the big bad Bruins in the 70s?
Oh, yeah,
Phil was always there.
he'd hang around that goal.
He couldn't move him. He was a big boy. Well, Calvin, I took your advice and turned my gloves into mittens here to try to keep the fingers warm. It is chilly tonight.
Downright cold. And, you know,
It's supposed to be in the 50s next week. I saw that long
yeah.
term, which is
normal.
well, you know, I kind of expect this weather in the Final Four when you're the 20th of November.
Yeah.
We have had this weather down there in Oneonta and Cortland this time of year, or in November.
You know, we just don't want to admit it every year, but every year, you know, when it gets to the end of October, 2 weeks from now, but it's always cold. We, as often as not, get snow. You know, we just don't think of it that way, but it happens in October.
Well, Lake Placid and
You know,
oh, there's a
Altona.
nice save. Dannemora,
Yeah, and Ellenberg.
they all got it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was Latrimore's earlier in that day that we had they had the snow, and it was, you know, Claire Lambert's car was in the parking lot there, and there was snow on it, and her husband Todd stopped in. He had snow on his tonneau cover on the back. And, you know,
Now,
that was Tuesday.
between you and me,
Yes.
in October, that's just downright depressing.
Yeah, because I was talking to Alan Racine after the town board meeting I taped that night in Champlain. He said he was up in Ellenberg and
The trucks are
in
out?
Altona, you know, and the whole ground was covered up there.
Did they have the trucks out?
I don't know if the trucks are out or not, but he was up there for some reason and in Altona, and he said it was even worse up in Ellenberg. So that's October 12th.
Yeah, exactly. So you can see Chazy just passing the ball around. They'll just let some long shots go and stuff. There is nothing to gain. Nice cross. Oh, Cooper was there. Nope. All the way back. And we noticed before the game, Catherine Took's uniform was still dirty, so we don't know.
Filthy's the word.
Well, yeah, filthy is a good word. So either her mother's washing machine broke, or she's superstitious and doesn't want to clean it as we approach the playoff season.
Yeah, because she was definitely covered in mud, and I don't think she was rolling around out there before the game. So.
Now my guess is the washing machine's working, and she's probably superstitious. I talked to Kirsten Dorn's dad today, actually, and he said that she's on the mend. Probably will be back for the States if they get that far, but she had that deep bruise in that game you're talking about where Sagan scored 2. Sam was on the camera that night. She's been out for a couple weeks now, and just a deep bruise on the hip. That's going to take a while to heal.
I agree. Yeah, and,
It was a very innocent play, and
she's an important part of this team. That's unfortunate.
oh, nice hustle by Victoria. She might want the hat trick before it's all said and done. Just controlling.
Victoria looking in, I think,
What's that?
paper 2 days ago there, Victoria, and she's far and away the high scorer in her region right now.
Yes, she is.
She's had some games where she's scored her 3-4 goals early and just has to back off after.
Yep.
But one player that really works hard, that I think she's, as far as goals scored in the CVAC, she was number 3 when that was printed 2 days ago or 3 days ago. And that's Kayla Rabideau. She had 14 goals. Her team had 19.
Or Northeastern?
Or Northern Adirondack.
Oh my God, she has 14 of them?
She had 14 and the team had 19 goals.
19 total.
And I know last night she scored 2 out of the team's 3 goals.
Well, up until tonight's game, actually. Well, now they had scored 69 goals for and 1 against the Chazy girls. So right now it's 72-1. And that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
There's another goal here. And good hustle by Lapeer. Gets the goal at 23:43, and the time will just keep running. So the girls should probably take their time working back to midfield. We're back to the action here. Talking to the coaches down below, talking about their game they have coming up Tuesday of next week. This is something we can talk about. Back in the old days in the MVAC, you had the North Division winner and the South Division winner, and they would get together and play for what they called the MVAC title. Okay, but the last couple of years they went to a 3 division league. So what you have to do is, last year we had the bye, so the other 2 teams have to play against each other to see who's going to play for the MVAC title. So there's kind of like an extra game thrown in there, and Chazy has to go to Johnsburg to play Indian Lake, the boys and girls actually. So that's a little bit different, Calvin.
Yeah.
Because the reality is those games don't mean anything. It's just for bragging rights in the MVAC. And then you go into regional play. Regional play. Or sectional play, I should say. Section play. So it's just, you're just playing those games for bragging rights. And when it was just one game, then you're wondering, is it worth doing those games, risk getting hurt for when those, all it is just bragging rights.
Well, back when it was the one-on-one, and you didn't see the teams from the South necessarily, and
no, it
still
was
pretty
kind of
much
unique.
Yeah, but this Section 7 and the Class D schools are so spread out. You go down a long ways, and they've gone to that because those schools are so far and so isolated that they had to find a way to give them a certain number of games. The state demands that a section does that.
Mm-hmm. And nice play by Amanda Kempinen over to Caitlin Lapeer. And this team this year, Calvin, and you've taped enough of their games, just a very, there's Victoria, just a very sweet team in the sense they just play wonderful team soccer. And, everybody's kind of concerned that last year they lost some key seniors, and this year's team is just, it's like they haven't missed a beat.
Well, that's the thing about high school sports. The stars aren't here very long.
No, you come and go. I mean, it's a short career, varsity experience, except if you're Victoria Reynolds and you play like 5 years.
Yeah.
She's been out there since 8th grade. Austria Kempenen's been out there, I think, since she was an 8th grader. And I mean, impact players, too.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure these teams must be looking at Victoria going, haven't you left yet? There's Devin, just picks the upper left-hand corner. So we're now at 5-0, just under 20 minutes. We have running time here tonight. And you can't make it go any faster than running time, Calvin. It doesn't go any faster than that. And we're back from the Latrimore goal. But in Crown Point, I mean, they have their student body's not nearly as big as Chazy's. So it's, if soccer's not your sport, I'm sure it's tough to get the girls out and boys to get enough players to want to compete. Not saying they don't in some years, but it's got to be tougher when you don't have as many kids to choose from.
Well, Crown Point, I've noticed lately when they used to graduate almost as many as Chazy did, so they're not a small Class D like some of those schools, like Minerva or Newcomb.
Right. But they got to be over 300, I would think. Chazy's at 500 right now.
I would say, Crown Point is, within 100 of Chazy, I would think.
So you think they're around 400?
You're talking total enrollment?
Yeah, from kindergarten up through seniors.
Yeah, well, what they look at is the sophomores through seniors for the sectional Class A, B, C, and D rankings.
Mm-hmm. Oh, geez. We're back. And Kempinen with the ball. There's Victoria. Gee, she sent that across pretty hard. Sandra Olds trying to get a shot off. Nice clear by the defense. And throw in by Latrimore. Over to Kempinen. Kempinen back all the way over to Megan Reynolds. She'll send it over to Alexis Bushy. No, they're going to send it back to the goalie. They want to get Took into the game here a little bit. Get her warmed up. She comes over to Trombley. Trombley goes near sideline over to Kempinen. That's Amanda Kempinen, Austria's sister. Chipped up in the open space. Here comes the defense. Number 13, we'll give some credit due. It was Ashley Anderson. But the ball's knocked up over to Kempinen. Pushes it back over to Latrimore. All the way over to Sandra Olds. Olds with the ball. Back to Latrimore. Goes over to Olds. Pushes it back over to Megan Reynolds. And Chazy puts playing the ball around, passing it around. Trombley's up there. Trombley trying to get a shot off the defense. And Latrimore just rips it off the defense. Poor girl. That was number 10, Marissa Titus. Trombley with it. She's going to push it back. Over to Bushy. Now Took will send it over to Reynolds, which she does. So you can see what coach is trying to do. Work on their passing game, spread the field, get used to their positions. Possession game basically is what they're playing right now. Like I say, as a coach, you're kind of put into a tough situation. And she has Lapeer coming into the game. Amanda Kempinen coming out of the game.
Now, with the running clock, Joey, we'll be able to get home and watch some baseball tonight.
We are. Tonight it is the Dodgers and Phillies. Okay, we have 4 good teams. I mean, you get to this far, you have to be good, but 2 matchups that are very intriguing. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping to see the Dodgers and the Yankees just because of the Joe Torre story.
Yeah.
But I could see where the West Coast would love to see LA versus LA.
Can you imagine every game will start at 10 o'clock at night?
Well, you lose the East Coast. You lose the East Coast. I mean, I like baseball, but not that much. To stay up to 2 in the morning.
I can't.
I know. I just physically can't do that anymore. You know, I have to laugh. You know, growing up, seeing my father or my grandfather, you see them on the recliner and they're falling asleep, right, catching flies. You go, how can you do that? Well, I understand now. Because, Dad, you were sleeping. No, I wasn't. Oh, yeah, you were. Oh, yeah, you were. Okay.
I never wondered why my father was asleep because, you know, he's
Oh, hard-working farmer, yeah.
you know, and you go out in the cold all day and
Oh,
come in the warm house and sit down.
God bless
You
the
get
farmers.
tired, you get tired in a hurry.
Yeah, well, you get that. Oh, yeah. And as you well know, that's not an easy way to make a living.
No, I don't know how they're surviving right now.
I have no idea. You know, I don't know. It's almost like all the farmers have to become Walmarts of farming.
Same.
You know what's sad about that? I mean, all those years, all these farmers were made it. What changed? I mean, we have more people, so what changed? I mean,
The problem is they don't get to pick their prices and what they sell their product for, and that's the problem. And they've become so efficient at what they do. Like, you know, dairy farmers, they're so good at producing milk that they produce so much of it that, you know, supply and demand. It's
but you think as the population has expanded, that it would just kind of work hand in hand. But obviously not.
but no, they just become, you know, so effective. You know, the amount of milk that a cow produces now compared to a generation ago.
Just because of how they're feeding them the nutrients.
It's probably 3 times as much as a good cow did 25 years ago.
And that's diet?
I would think for the most part, yeah.
As we told you folks, we'd be talking about many different things tonight. And we're just kind of letting you enjoy the soccer game. Seeing a little soccer action here. We are at the 11-minute mark at running time. Chazy with a 5-0 lead. They've outshot the Panthers 11-0. And the ball has been pretty much in this end for 29 minutes. Did I hear what I just thought I heard out there?
I don't know.
Okay. I'll tell you off camera. All right, we're back to the action here. And Victoria pushes it up. And the ball's cleared out onto the foot of number 7, Noelle Vezi. And here's a run by the Panthers. Trombley pushes it to the open space. And number 3 gives it a boot, Brittany Austin. Sandra Olds up over to Kempinen.
So were you here for the Ausable game?
No, I wasn't. Oh, I had a school board meeting that night.
Yeah. Sam had Chazy Town Board meeting, so he wasn't here either. So we
It wasn't.
didn't get
Nobody showed
covered.
it. No.
No. And I had cross country at 4:30, a soccer game at 5:30, and Champlain Town Board meeting at 7.
So you were a little busy too.
Yeah.
The boys won 4-0, and so I guess they did pretty well that night.
Against Alsable Valley.
So they fared well against the bigger schools this year. They beat Augsburg. They tied PHS, and there's her hat trick. That makes it 6-0. They beat Ausable. They beat NAC earlier in the year. So
Played the PHS to a good match.
yep, to a tie here.
One of these days, Northeastern and Chazy will have to play soccer at the varsity level, don't you think?
Yeah, I think the fans want to see that.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why it doesn't happen.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's.
Obviously, there's some reluctance from one coach or both coaches. I don't know.
I think, boy. I mean, you have to think back to, well, even when I was going through school, the rivalry between those two towns, and they probably just don't want to see it get that way again. It was pretty intense.
Well, so what? There's a big rivalry between the
E-Town and
Chazy
Chazy.
ETs. Yeah,
Oh, I know.
Northern Adirondack and Northeastern.
I mean, I personally would love to see both teams to get on the field and play, because you got two very good programs.
Yeah,
And I mean,
right.
that's what I think. I think the fans would love to see it.
Sure they would. We saw a lot of Mickey fries that night.
Oh my! I guess you
And
would.
girls too. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
Always got a good girls team, and Chazy's been. It wasn't that way years ago. Chazy couldn't have stayed on the field at Northeastern, but now they certainly could. And
Oh yeah.
it could be a great match.
I mean, there has been talk about getting Chazy in the CVAC. The problem that you have is that if we were to go to CVAC, I go in for all the sports, and that's where the problem lies. At least for Chazy. I mean, there's another goal. No, just high. The problem that you have is there's no way the girls or boys would compete in basketball. Overall, baseball, I don't see it happening. Maybe a little bit, but so you bring all the teams over for one season, basically soccer, to be competitive, and let your other teams not do so well.
Well, it happens. Lake Placid gets outgunned at a lot of different sports in the CVAC.
But weren't they forced into going there though, because of their size?
I don't know if they were forced to or what the status was. I don't see why the MVAC can be only Class D. They certainly weren't dominating the MVAC.
No, they weren't.
I think it was a choice for them. Play at Lake on a regular basis.
Well, we're down to 6 minutes, Calvin, here in the first half running time. So I know you and I are both happy to see that.
Definitely.
Tonight would be a nice night to have a nice wood fire going. And I do have the wood stove. The problem is I'm getting the chimney redone. It's not done yet.
Oops, there goes your roster.
There goes the roster. Coach has picked up on it. So there goes her. And look at Don Verkey's daughter. Oh, I thought she was going to bring it up here. Adrian, what a gentleman, Adrian. Adrian Engelhart. What a gentleman by Adrian. Thank you, Adrian.
You're welcome.
So we just gave Adrian some airtime here. He is so good about bringing us the roster. Calvin, I got to admit, this is probably one of the more,
Exciting.
well, one of the more laid-back broadcasts we've had. in the time. How many years have I been helping you do this?
About 30 years, I think.
Is it the third, fourth? Wait,
Did that on one?
wait. Galen's been out 2, 3,
Four.
4 or 5 years. Yeah.
Well, you're trying to make it 5. I don't think it's 5. You're looking for your 5-year pin?
No, I got to think this through. It was a holiday tournament in basketball that you asked. And that was the year. The next year.
Bob is still involved.
Yeah. Then Rob Guerin came over, coach. That's 2. This is the 4th year. It's 4th year. You're right. As always.
No, I said 3, but you said 4.
Well, it will be Christmas time. It'll be our 4th year anniversary doing this.
Don't get me anything, Joey.
I won't. And there was a screen, and now it's 7-0. We're back.
Much time left, Joe?
Too much. 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Took's had a busy night. You saw how dirty she is out there.
Yeah. Don't get that dirty. I don't think young Mr. Poisson's going to make it over.
No, I don't think so. No, there's no way he's going to come in this game. You know, when you first asked him, he was all excited, couldn't wait to be here, and now he picks and chooses the games.
Yeah, just the big games.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if I'm not here, it's because I'm gone.
Yeah.
You know, I got something going on.
Yeah, near Giants football or something.
Oh, that'd be fun to do that.
Yeah, well, I was here Saturday. And,
Well, that game was like this game.
the Giants game, yeah.
The Giants game was.
No, the game I did at OFA. Was
You had a great game here.
Yeah.
You had a great game. I mean, Ogdensburg was ranked 15th in the state at that point.
Class B, yeah.
Class B, so. I give Ogdensburg credit to play us too. I mean, they have nothing to gain, really. I mean, when you think of a bigger school coming down to play a Class D school, they have. I mean, if they beat you, well, they should beat you. But if they lose, then it's like, oh, you lost to a Class D school.
Yeah, well, it's not a Class D school. It's a constantly state-ranked Final Four team. So they know they're coming here and they're going to play a team that's better than what they're normally going to play.
So halftime will be coming up here. We've got senior night coming up. So did you bring me the E-Town game so I can listen to my over-exuberance call for the score?
Actually,
Or is that for the coach?
No, it's for whoever wants it.
Okay.
It's it took 2 tapes to get it, and there wasn't much room between the time you stop talking and Sam hit that off button. And when I first tried to record it onto the DVD, I ended up with 2 seconds or 3 seconds of the board meeting that was on that tape prior to that, recording that. So I didn't want that in my master, so
Well, what I'll do is I'll watch it and I'll give it to Rob. Then Rob can use it for scouting purposes.
Because there's a good chance that they'll be seeing it.
Or is it? Do you have it posted?
Well, I gave it to. It might be up there shortly. It'll probably be up by tomorrow on Plattsburgh.com.
Okay.
This is the senior night activities here. Unfortunately, the PA system, we can't always hear what they're saying out there from this angle. But Joey will be able to tell us better who the seniors are. We see Reynolds out there. I know his daughter Sagan is. I think Devin Latchmore is a senior. And these are not their parents. These are senior boys who have brought a flower out to them. Now they'll call out the parents, such as Joey Trombley. Sorry we weren't here for the boys' version of senior night, but as we mentioned earlier, Sam Castine was doing a Chazy town board meeting that night, and I was at the Champlain town board meeting, and prior to that I had a couple of sporting events, the cross country and the soccer at Northeastern that I covered. So when Joey comes back, we'll have him identify the 5 seniors. Sagan going over to see Joey, and Mother Maggie must be on the other side of the fence, and the rest of the senior girls are here, and their parents are coming at least to the fence, if not across the fence. So that's it. That's pretty much going to cover the senior night activities here at Chazy, and we'll be back with more of this one-sided soccer game in just a moment.
And we're back starting the second half. The first half was all Chazy, 7-0. And if you're just joining us, you'll see the second half will be like the first half. Calvin and I will be talking about probably anything else but the soccer game right now. The girls are totally dominating, and there's some running time working right now. And the coach is working players in, and here it comes. That almost had the Mickey fries, Calvin. It came at us. So curious.
They're pretty good this year, though.
Chazy with the ball. It's Kempinen, and the highlight of halftime, Calvin, was, I don't know if you did you get on camera, the senior night?
Oh, as much as I could.
As much as you could, okay. Well, the other highlight is the Mickey fries. We always talk about the Mickey fries. Calvin's working them.
Too quick for me, though.
Well, you walk over here when it's below zero. No, not below zero, but below freeze. They were hot when they came out. I saw the steam on them. But they kind of cooled off quick. So I want to take this time, we're in the second half right now, we're going to do our segment called Let's Beg for Money. And if you're just hearing this for the first time, you know we're just having a playoff of what was put into the newspaper and Speak Out. Somebody complaining that Calvin's begging for money all the time. And if you've been watching Hometown Cable, you know this is just a segment we do to have some fun with it. But it is our segment of Let's Beg for Money, and we don't consider it begging for money. I mean, I don't get paid anything to do this to help Calvin out. I just enjoy helping him. And it is hometown memories. Like tonight is senior night for the girls. And Calvin, my daughter Sagan out there, number 20, a senior, her last home game as a senior here on the Chazy George Brendler field. So those are memories that we will have, compliments of Calvin Castine. And the question is, what is that worth to you? Do you have maybe a loved one who's no longer here that Calvin interviewed from years past? I know I fit in that category, and I know a lot of you do. And they're only supported by viewers or businesses. So, and you know, it costs money to run this. This is how Calvin makes his living. And if we want to have this, we've been very fortunate that Calvin's been doing this for 21 years now. 26 years now that Calvin has been doing this, and we just seem to take it for granted when we go through the channels. But you know, like I've said this before, we'll think nothing about getting packages for cable, and you'll pay $50-$60 a month, and yes, you can say, yeah, but you're getting 400 channels. That would be correct. But then you also have public television, which gets supported by the federal level, and they're always out asking for money, and as well as they should be. It is quality program, it's choices, and Hometown Cable is no different. If you have cable, if you do, you're watching this, and if you support. There's a shot by Cooper. And if you're supporting public television, then see if you can, if you have the means, try to support Hometown Cable. And any donation is accepted. You can send it to 1477 Ridge Road in Champlain, New York. Hometown Cable, 1477 Ridge Road, 12919. Or now you can go to Plattsburgh.com, and a lot of the shows are posted there. So if, oh, what a shot by Kempinen, it looks like. But if you're online, you can pay through PayPal now. You can use a credit card. And all these shows are posted. So what I was saying is that you can watch it at your time when you're available. And he has, I think, approaching almost 200 shows on there now posted. No, Calvin?
About, I'd say between 700 and 800 right now.
That many posted? 700 to 800 shows. That's more than I thought. So Calvin corrected me on that one. So Calvin, and I know obviously you do too, but it's money well spent. It's an investment into keeping hometown memories alive.
Yes, we've reached that point where we're now able to do this. So putting it on the internet has for a long time been something that we were hoping we could eventually do, and in fact right now we stream the show that's available to the Channel 24 viewers is also streaming on the internet. So if you've got kids that have graduated and are no longer here, they can click and view things at their own pace, so they can watch today's Channel 24 program that's streaming at the same time. So you haven't just got to be up here in our northern tier to get that programming. You can be anywhere where there's high-speed internet.
I know I've been checking that site out quite a bit recently. You want to talk about hometown memories, going back to, I saw the game that you had on there when we were back in the softball days, when we were sport about,
1983.
playing Barclays TV, and I'm on the game, and Galen goes, Dad, I wasn't even born. I go, no, bud. I go, actually, it was 83. I said, I'm just 2 years older than you are now. And he kind of got a chuckle out of that. And Joe was picking on me on that show in particular because I had a big elbow pad. And he calls me the pre-Barry Bonds days. And you on camera did say I was coming back from an elbow injury, which I was.
You were hit by a pitch earlier.
Yeah. The arc was so high when it came down, it was the speed of that ball coming down just damaged it. But actually,
have you let your brother know, Larry, that he can watch that game? He's down there in Carolina somewhere, isn't he?
No, I could. I should tell him to go to Plaza. No, I haven't. Thanks for reminding me, but no, I haven't. And but on that instance, or that episode,
Larry was pitching.
Larry was pitching. Perry was at first,
yeah,
and I was at second. So you had the whole right side of the field, the Trombley boys, and but 2 weeks earlier, I had cut myself at the Beaumont diving for a ball at second base, and
bowling.
No, there was a piece of glass in the middle of the infield, and it ripped my arm open. And I didn't realize it until I threw the ball in. I go, "What's that?" And then I go, "Okay." So it was just a cut, and we have 31 minutes left. So we're going to. So I want to end the beg for money section here with, please make a donation to Hometown Cable. And Calvin, it is only business supported and viewer supported.
That's right.
Now, how business-wise, you pretty much stable with that, or do you get any newcomers coming?
Once in a while we get a newcomer. I haven't done a lot of soliciting there because the more ads I get, the more time I got to sit and put those ads in. So it's a catch-22 situation. With you make yourself more work for a few dollars, or do you let things lay and hope the viewers will pick up the difference?
Mm. Well, I mean, you must have quite a few business advertisers now, I would think, that support over the years. I mean, you have some local businesses who've been with you for a long, long time.
Oh yeah, so I'm doing it right from the start.
I mean, we started out as Northern Blacktopping
Yep.
way back when. I don't think you were doing it that long either when we got involved. Probably 3-4 years, I'm guessing. So I like to say that we've been involved with the business aspect for 20 plus years, if you count Cavanagh Realty, of course. If you were hearing a little quiet time or some munching, it's just Calvin and I enjoying the Mickey fries up here.
They're getting colder, so we gotta get.
They are getting colder. It's becoming more like an ice cube. You know, grease tastes good cold too, Calvin.
Yep. Cold grease and the salt.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we can.
Looks like the grease has slowed down out there. It was flaming up pretty good for a while.
It was, but you still got the mist of the Mickey fries coming up.
We have the keeper's name now. Have you mentioned her name yet, Cody?
Oh, that's right. Calvin, you got it at the break. Her name is Samantha Russell, is the goalie for Crown Point.
And, you know, since we haven't mentioned the Crown Point names too much, why don't you just run through that roster to get their names on it?
That's a very good idea. Number 13 is Ashley Anderson. Number 3 is Brittany Austin. Number 18 is Heather Bemis. Number 6 is Lindsay Brace. Number 1 is Chelsea Duchesne. Number 12 is Alexis Holman. Number 16 is Jade Petro. Number 20 is Jenna Petro. Number 8 is Jordan Pop. Number 17, the goalie, is Samantha Russell. Number 10, Marissa Titus. Number 7, Noelle Vezi. And number 2 is Haley White. So the roster shows 15 players, but it also shows 2 of the girls out for the season. So they're coming here with 13 players, and you got 11 on the field. And now that was Chelsea Gay. She doesn't get a lot of scoring opportunities in the course of the year. And that makes it 9-0. So
Much time left, Joe?
Calvin, we have 26 minutes and 15 seconds of running time left. And if you're just joining the broadcast here, the coaches agreed to do that. Chazy scored, what was it, 4 goals in 5 minutes?
Yeah.
It was. And so they agreed. Crown Point's come a long way, and actually I guess the girls are excited. The Crown Point girls are excited. They want to go to Pizza Hut in Plattsburgh on the way home. So they are kind of looking forward to doing that. And
Yeah, they're just far enough away from Plattsburgh that the trip to Plattsburgh is an adventure for them.
yeah, well, you know, and the thing is, Chazy does have well, like you say, a program that goes to deep in the regional, state level, state championships. Crown Point, you know, doesn't at this sport, but the sport they're very good at is softball and baseball.
Yeah,
And
they're very good at it.
they're very, very good at that, and you know, and that's their sport.
Yeah.
And so in the spring they'll get their, I don't want to say revenge, but they'll be much more competitive in their favor come spring.
I think, as one-sided as this game is, that if you add the 2 games up, Crown Point might still outscore Chazy.
You could break in softball, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I think it was 2 years ago they played a doubleheader here, and Chazy beat them in the first game of the doubleheader.
They did. They were a little taken back by that, and they made up for it the second game. So, you know, every team seems to have their sport. You know, in football, you think of Peru, Beekman Town. More Beatmantown this year, but Peru in the past years were very dominant.
I was looking in the
And Mariah.
I was looking in the paper for the leaders earlier this week when the press put all the
In football or
standings
soccer?
for everything.
Okay.
And I looked at the cross country because that was Tuesday, and I was going to be taping the cross country meet. And Beatmantown was there at Northeastern. And the Beatmantown boys were undefeated. I said, hey, they're doing pretty good because they're undefeated in football.
Yep.
And in soccer, they've got one loss. They're tied for first place in boys soccer.
Yeah.
In addition, the girls soccer team is in first place. They just put a pounding on PHS last night.
Yes, they did.
And the gymnastics team is in first place for Beatmantown. And it's only the girls cross country that's kind of in the middle of the road. Everything else, they are in first or tied for first.
So, doing very well. The
Beatmantown,
program down in
yeah.
Beatmantown, good for them.
Excellent.
You know, and you like, it's nice to see that. You know, I mean, it's not too often you have that many sports at the same year that you're doing well. So obviously, a lot of good athletes, very diversified athletes for Beatmantown to be able to pull that off. And what's amazing, when all those sports that you mentioned, Chazy has soccer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, and I think we've said this before on the camera. When you go to the Final Fours, and you have AA, A, B, C, and D. The representatives down there know when a D match is being played because the field is just swamped with fans around the field, because that is basically their sport. So, and it's a small community, so the communities come out to support. We're at the higher levels. You got a group of parents off to the football game. They could be off to a track meet at the state level. So that's why you don't get as many fans for the higher classes.
Well, even Northeastern doesn't have a football team. And last Friday I was there for the Northeastern PHS boys soccer game, and the PHS fans were commenting about how many Cougar fans there were there, because the Cougars have very good fans like Chazy, and they
Very supportive.
They follow the teams.
Very, very, very supportive. Well, the JV boys played across the way from this game, and there was a very strong contingent of Northeastern fans there.
Well, they're all hoping to wander over here and have some Mickey fries after the game. That's
I'm thinking we didn't get many of them. At 57 degrees, we might have.
Yeah.
At 35 degrees, no.
No, thank you.
No. But Mickey said, and of course promotions on Hometown Cable don't hurt, that they've gone from, used to be 50 pounds a game to well over 100 pounds every game now.
Wow.
Of Mickey fries. They're keeping a running tab on the Snack Shack on how many they've got. They got, I don't know,
Yeah,
1,500 pounds this year.
Put up a thermometer like the United Way has.
Yeah, yeah, for Mickey fries. Well, Calvin, so you will be home for the baseball game.
I'll be home in time for the baseball.
And that will start at what, 7? Well, the first game tonight
No,
is.
I think it's 8. I know the Yankees.
Is it in Phillies? Is it in Philadelphia?
Yeah, it's at Philadelphia.
Okay. All right. So. Oh, you'll be home for the start of it.
Well, no, I think it's in LA tonight.
Are you in
I
LA?
really think it's in LA. I think, yeah, LA has the home field advantage this year.
Okay.
So the Dodgers have the home field advantage. So it is in LA, so it might even be a 9 o'clock start.
I got to admit, I'm rooting for the Dodgers. I really am. I'm rooting for the Dodgers.
Unless people are watching this on the internet early on, of course they'll be able to watch it forever, but when this gets on cable TV, the World Series will have been decided. But at this point, I like you, being a Yankee fan, I'm looking. You're not a Yankee fan, but
No, I'm a Red Sox fan.
yeah.
But I like the Yankees. I like the Yankees. I don't dislike them. They're a good team.
But I'd like to see Joe Torre, go against the Yankees. And,
Well, you know, Oh,
ouch.
well, that's wide. I thought it was a goal.
Oh, it wasn't in.
No, I thought it was it. I'm rooting for Joe Torre because I just don't think it's right that they got rid of him.
Well, they didn't get rid of him. They insulted him with a $5 million offer.
Well, but at that point, it wasn't about money. It was about
Respect.
Yes, it was.
$5 million is a lot of respect in my neighborhood.
Well, it is, but first of all, Joe doesn't need the money. Okay.
He did before he started.
With the Yankees, he did, but after 12 years, I'm sure Joe Torre is doing okay.
Yeah.
But I think it more had to do, we're going to lower your pay, and you got to be. It was basically paid on performance, and it was like, he's like, I had nothing to prove at that point. It's one thing if you're a first-year coach going there. Okay, that makes sense. But you won how? You won what? 12 divisions in a row.
Yeah. Well, I had the pleasure of riding up an elevator with Joe Torre.
Did you really?
Probably around '86 or '87. He wasn't managing at the time. He was doing radio or TV for I think it was for the Angels. And I was at a game, and it was we were there for hometown cable at the time, so it was probably '86 or '87. It could have even been '85, but I don't think so. And just happened to be in the elevator at the same time and chatted with him, and I was very, very impressed with the guy.
Just a nice guy.
I obviously knew who he was from an outstanding career he had, but
Right.
he was really down to earth, and he wasn't. I met Tim McCarver before, and completely different personalities.
Oh, really?
Tim
Like,
McCarver.
do you know who I am?
He doesn't.
No, I didn't say that, but it's
he's
attitude.
kind of like a Michael Kay type of arrogance.
Well, I mean, while you're on that, I mean, you've been doing this for 26 years. Because of what you do, you must have met some pretty neat people over the years.
Well, when we were able,
Or at least tape them.
yeah, local people, and of course with being able to get into the Expos games as a member of the media, it gave us the opportunity to rub elbows with some very, very interesting folks, including Billy Martin, and and folks.
And you were able to get into the clubhouse, right?
Oh yeah, we went into the locker room after the game, and sat around the.
How are the players after the game? Are they just like trying to get out of there, get to their lives, or they want to hang out together?
They don't rush out of there. They know the media's there, and they'll talk to people at their lockers. But if they don't want to talk, there's an area, a little area where they can go and eat, and the press is kind of barred from there. So there's an area if they don't want to bother with folks for whatever reason. Vladimir Guerrero was never anybody
speak English.
Yeah, and he wouldn't. It's just his personality. He wasn't interested in talking, and everybody respected it. Where if he was playing in New York instead of in Montreal, he wouldn't have been able to get away with that because they would have been more demanding of him. But everybody in Montreal knew that it wasn't him being arrogant or anything. He's just a shy individual who didn't speak good English and wasn't interested in talking with anybody, whether he hit 3 homers or struck out 3 times. He just, that was his personality. Yeah, the corner kick's coming up here. Not quite sure what the coaches were chatting about. The ball was lost on the other side of the fence.
Samantha, it's all those kids on that far left or right corner.
I guess what they're saying is that kids in the corner are probably saying some things they probably shouldn't have been saying, and so the coach is heading over there, which don't know what's going on, but
Kids will be kids.
they will be.
And sometimes adults don't say the smartest things. And
That would be true. And of course, that's where the kids learn it from.
no, sometimes they learn it all by themselves. And
At times we laugh at that, but at times we got to catch ourselves. We were kids at one time. We kind of get hard on kids sometimes, but it's like, they're kids.
yeah. Looks like Clark Hurdick is kind of frozen out there.
Who's that?
Clark Hurdick here.
Yeah, I'm sure that Clark's happy that it's 14:52 to go. Boom. She didn't make it all the way over, so she's coming back. And we're back here. Emily Lapierre wants to get on the old scoreboard tonight. It looks like she's out there. We have 13:57 to go. 9-0.
Our superintendent's here.
Ball's back in action here. Calvin, I like to call it just letting the fans enjoy what they see on the camera. Just let the action explain itself. Now we have a player down. Hopefully she'll get up.
Get up, get up.
Get up. She can do it. She can do it. She's up. Look, she's hurting. Hopefully she can walk it off.
Yeah, you know, I wouldn't think that those big long things that she's got hanging down there on her toque there would be safety. You know, I think for safety reasons, the ref might tell her to, you know, tuck them away somewhere. I understand she wants to stay warm, but you know, somebody got hooked in one of those little snowball things.
Yeah.
You yank her head.
Yeah. Oh, there's a hard shot.
Yeah.
Oh, Calvin. 11:38 left.
That clock must be moving slower because it's so cold out.
They said it was a moving time. I'm beginning to wonder. Or running time, I should say. Victoria wants another one. It's back over to Trombley. She sends it all the way back to Took. Took says, just get me in the game. I'm cold. She got to kick that one, so it comes up over to Keeble. Keeble sends it up over to Cooper. Cooper into the open space. And Anderson, nice little back foot work movement there. And there goes into Victoria Reynolds' foot. She's there again.
Yeah, she wants one.
Over to Lapierre. All the way over to Chelsea Gay, it looks like. No, it's actually Sandra Olds.
Bub,
Coach, someone's yelling at you.
Sandra wants out. Sandra Olds comes off. I think she hurt her ankle.
they stopped the clock during that injury. I didn't notice.
No, it's 7:57 now.
Oh, there's going to be they stopped it during the injury.
No, they didn't. Both coaches agreed ahead of time to keep it running time. And Took got into the game.
Yeah. It's not a save, though. I hope she doesn't
No.
think that's a save.
She will have a save before the night's out.
They will give her one. How come?
Because then it'll become a shutout. If
Not
you
a save?
if you don't have any saves, they don't credit you with a shutout.
Really?
That's what I was told.
So the scorebook will say,
Huh?
the scorebook will say she had a save.
Yes. And that's very subjective right there, but it could have been a save.
I don't think so.
An easy one.
I don't think it was at the right angle.
Again, that was your opinion, Calvin. I mean,
I can run the
hey, the official scorekeeper has the control of the book.
I noticed, even though she has all those shutouts, that she hasn't got many saves.
No, like 23 saves or something
Yeah.
in 12 games. Or come on. And they've played a couple decent teams. But the girls, I'm sure Crown Point's not enjoying this, and Chazy is not enjoying this as much as they are enjoying it.
They both got to go through the motions to get the game in.
Yeah. I'm sure Crown Point was kind of wishing they could come here like in middle September when it's warmer. But you know, Calvin, you listen to the Crown Point girls, and they seem like they're enjoying themselves,
Yeah.
and that's what it's all about.
If you enjoy each other's company and you're out there, and
But the whole experience is more than just a soccer game. It's a trip up together as a team.
Yeah.
They're going to go out and eat as a team. So, there's more than just a soccer game for the whole experience. And the girls they aren't upset. They're having a good time with themselves,
Well, they
laughing
really-
and joking.
it's not like they came in here expecting to win it, So they're enjoying.
They're taking it for what it is.
Yeah, which is good. It's nice. You said they haven't won a game yet. It's nice that they're still able to get out here and have fun. When it's not fun, then you shouldn't
Right.
be out there.
Right. We have just under 5 minutes, Calvin, and what else can we talk about? How about them Yankees?
Yeah.
And the Giants got a tough game coming up this week.
Do they?
Against the Saints.
Tougher than Oakland, huh?
Well, the Saints are actually favored by 3.5 points.
So you have good seats?
Did I have good seats?
I asked you first.
Did I? Yes, I did. I was 18 rows from the field in the sunny section of Giant Stadium. So it was warm. It was 65 degrees that day. And
Even when I was a football fan, which was a generation ago, it never appealed to me to go to a game because you get so much more watching it at home and with the replays and everything than you.
well, that is true,
Except for the experience, I guess.
well, you do get the replays because they have the big jumbotrons, so you do see that. What's amazing was how serious the tailgaters are. We got there about 10 o'clock, and there were people there since 8 o'clock setting up for tailgating. We're talking travel trailers painted in the Giant colors with the Giant name on it. They had big blown up football players on the top of their vehicles. They had a spread. One person was eating lobster and crab legs. Others had sausage, ribs. We came in. We got a sub at one of the local stores. That was so. We kind of went in the van and just ate. We didn't want to walk around with that. But we're talking some serious tailgating before the game. And we talked to a couple of them, and they said they basically had the tickets, and they were there for every home game. And they had digital or Dish Network TV. They had the satellite dish. I say a big screen TV, a TV, and
They were watching it.
some people had tickets to go in, some didn't, so they'd watch it, and then when they come out, they'd watch more football. Let the crowd leave and fire up the grill again. It was quite a sight to watch this. But the Giants were winning so big. By the middle of the third quarter, you didn't think that you were at Giant Stadium because it was pretty much cleared out. The fans are there. If the game's in hand, they're gone. It was amazing.
Folks like you who traveled a long distance.
5 hours.
You stick around.
We stuck around right to the end.
Well, at least you had some halfway decent weather. It could have been like this.
Oh, absolutely. It took us an hour and a half to get out of the parking lot. Well, I shouldn't say that. To get to 17 where we had to go, which was like a mile and a half away. From the parking lot there, it took us an hour and a half.
Now, just imagine if everybody was leaving at the same time, how long it would take.
Exactly. And I mean, and half the place had left prior to that.
Right. What are we down to?
A minute 30, Calvin.
All right.
So, I'm Clark Hurdick. Looks like he's a little cold out there.
He is freezing up.
I'm amazed that these guys go out in shorts. I'd be having. They must have referee pants that you can wear.
Yeah, they
Official
do.
pants.
They do, and usually refs will bring them, and if they can't one wear them and one not wear them. So
Really?
they got to be looking the same. So if one guy shows up without his long pants, the other guy can't wear his. So.
I guess I'd be doing the game by myself.
Oh.
Was that Bushy? Yes, it was. And that gives them their 10th goal. That's a beautiful goal.
Yeah, off the head, yeah. I think they're just trying to warm up. The coach thought that she was hurt, but she's trying to warm up each other.
Who made the goal?
10 seconds, Calvin. And it's a cold 15th of October here at the George Brendler Field, and this game will officially come to an end any second as you hear the buzzer. Both teams are happy it's done. I know we are up here happy it's done.
Happy it's over.
Happy it's over. And,
The long nightmare is over.
well, as Calvin and Sam like to say, that's the way it was in beautiful downtown Chazy.
I believe it's Alexis Tremblay. And over there should be Michaela Frechette. Let's see, last one is Alyssa Leonard, so I think this is Frechette. Who's ahead of Frechette? 4, 6, 16 was Vasquez. This is Vasquez, excuse me. This is Emily Vasquez. Emily Vasquez, we just finished with Brielle Cern. So. Okay, Vasquez is up, and we got who we got here. This is Shanice Washington. So we got Shanice Washington and Emily Vasquez. Washington on the beam, Vasquez on the floor. October 2nd, 2009, CVAC varsity, at the moment varsity